Hey guys, what's up? Zeke here. Today we're gonna be going over the Vanguard versus Archon matchup live scrim, and let's see what happens. So I'm gonna take myself off screen so that way I'm not distracting anybody. With my great looks. All right, so I'm out of here. So first up on the Vanguard side of the house, we're looking at a 1-1 and a Joy ban. Pretty across the board, normal, Faramis as well. Nothing too specific we're seeing on the Archon side of the house, we're seeing an Arlott, Fredrin, and Nolan ban. Nolan ban being a pretty common ban, Arlott as well. Huge characters in their capability to set the map. Fredrin as well with that. Definitely some pretty normal but also strong bans coming from Archon. Vanguard definitely have something going on in their head, but it's up to us to figure out what that is. So, Foop getting the first pick, unless he decides to give it away to somebody else. Looks like he is going to be trying to lock in a Terizla. We will get confirmation on that. Terizla is still a very strong, very exceptional EXP lane character. Not a whole lot of direct counters to him outside of mobility itself, and with some of the recent nerfs, he's not as fast. He's a little bit slow, even maybe a little bit too slow. So hopefully the Archon guys decide to take advantage of that. But with that being said, Terizla still hits very hard and takes a whole lot of damage. So in the right hands, Terizla can absolutely be a punishing hero. With that being said, the Archon guys do lock in a Guinevere, which is not a terrible pick because it can be a flex pick between your EXP and your jungle. Guinevere being an extremely exceptional jungle at the moment. Hopefully they don't do too much to give away the fact that she's going to be on the jungle side of the house. Otherwise, Vanguard is going to very easily be able to counter them out. So we see we're looking at a potential Franco, a potential Florin. Luffy's kind of just, I think, flexing some skins out here. Nothing huge, but not really giving any effective read into what they're doing. Fish looking to be looking for the hero of choice. Not sure that Lily is going to be the best character, especially because they're not going to be effectively able to stop the pouncing capabilities of the Guinevere. But it does. Fish locks in the Bruno, securing his spot on the marksman lane, while at the same time Luffy locks in the Kaja. Very good hero. God forbid the Brody stays in place, any one place too long, really, because that Kaja will catch him, and it actually is a really good hero in my opinion for pairing with the likes of Terizla, because that non-existent pursuing capability of Terizla is going to be granted a little bit more freedom because of the Kaja. At the same time, if Bruno puts on any slowing effects, that's going to make it really hard for people to escape the Terizla as well. K5 next up on the map to choose, and does lock in the Valentina. A great pick. I love a Valentina pick because she is so hard to deal with. The fact that she can really make the most out of anybody's ultimate definitely makes her a huge threat no matter what the team composition is. Definitely a safe pick for Archon. Frosh going to be picking the S4 slot. Let's see what he locks in. At this point, honestly, with the team composition, I'm not sure where I would go. I'm not sure if the support or the tank route is going to be the best option for his pick. I think that a little bit more tanking capability is going to be in their benefit to utilize, because Guinevere, depending on how you pick her, although she can be explosive in damage, doesn't have the sustainability as some of the other heroes. So unless they've got strong hopes for the EXP lane with K5, they better find somebody beefy. With that being said, we still have yet to see the mage or the jungle on the Vanguard side of the house. Definitely two characters that are really capable of setting the pace of the game, the mid lane especially. I'm really curious to see how they're going to try to respond to the Valentina pick. I'm wondering if they're going to go with a Navaria to inflict some more slowing effects to really set the worldy up, to set the Kaja up with his divine punishment, or really if it's going to be another hero, like I said, like Navario, who's going to set the Terizla up for some easier engagements. I definitely think we might see a Navaria based off of this, just because of how many benefits there are. But with that being said, a Valir, he could also do it. I think a Valir could honestly be a really good pick. Lilia, not too bad either, but I would probably, of the two, I would definitely probably be leaning a little bit more towards the Lilia, because the Valir doesn't have the escapability. You know, he's not going to be able to reset his health bar and put himself back in a fight. You know, especially if that Guinevere manages to press in. Granted, the push out effect is going to be something that is pretty tanky. I'm not sure that I would take it over the health reset. But with that said, I do feel like Navaria might be the best fit for their team. Probably one of those three, I think, is who we're going to see. Frosh does lock in the Tigreal. Tigreal being an extremely effective character. Hopefully, if he plays on his own, or plays the way that he wants to play, at least, he's going to be able to definitely set Guinevere up for some really good ganks. But with that being said, Alone at Prom, you know, showing an Akai, definitely a threat to what Tigreal wants to accomplish for his primary goal. But is he going to lock it in? Or see, right now they're showing the Akai with an Inspire. Hopefully they don't lock the Inspire in, because that might not be what they wanted to, you know? They definitely need to put Retribution on. And we are going to see a Gord pick, really. That's definitely a different pick than I imagined them going in, because of the fact that the ultimate is a stand-in-place cast, which I feel like makes them exceptionally vulnerable to the Guinevere. Hopefully, Givik knows what he's doing and isn't, you know, blindly playing into the enemy team. Archon, in this case, is strengths. Akai being an absolutely good pick. Again, being extremely effective in being able to lock down or cancel out even the enemy team's, Frosh, his Tigreal. So we see Foop on Terizla, Luffy on Kaja, Fish on Gord, Alone at Prom on Bruno, and Givik on Akai. As we're on Archon, we're seeing Aster on Guinevere. We're seeing Frosh on Tigreal. We're seeing Moonfrost on Valentina. Lapu Lapu for K5. And Brody for Saving Val. So we do see that these teams are so different, right? We see that the Kaja has the capability to effectively grab people, where Akai can, you know, separate out those fights. So I definitely think there's a little bit of personality on the side of Vanguard, as to where we see a lot of the heroes on Archon's side of the house being a little bit more synergetic. I don't know if that's a word, but synergetic feels right to me. So early what we're seeing Tigreal getting a little bit of vision for the Archon side of the house, while Guinevere starts off in her jungle. We're seeing a little bit of the same thing, though, coming from the coming from the side of Vanguard, we see Frosh trying to give vision on what the Akai's doing, and he does effectively do that, while Kaja, with the assistance of Fish, starts doing the same. I think the Kaja managed to actually steal, with the assistance of Gord, the jungle effect from the Guinevere, potentially stunning her growth. Let's look at the goal. We're looking at Guinevere at 520 versus Akai at 643. I do think that they managed to effectively steal that. Being nice and invasive. Right now, it's perfectly evened up. Not a whole lot of over pressing. I do notice that the Vanguard guys, they did extend just a little bit, and Archon tried to punish, but the Vanguard guys did a really good job of not diving so far in that they couldn't get out alive. Putting a little bit of pressure, Guinevere dove in, did some damage to the Kaja, and Kaja not having his ultimate yet, gonna have to recall. Tigreal putting up some pressure, managing to steal one of the creeps from Akai's side of house. Hopefully that can make up for the creep that they lost earlier. Akai looking for some support from Fish to start on this turtle, but not without the Archon guys doing a really good job of keeping that vision, keeping themselves right in the fight. I do think that it might have been a little bit of a mistake for Tigreal to show where he was to the enemy team, as the Vanguard guys are going to be able to effectively block them out. Moonfrose diving in on the enemy side of the house. Wow! Day 5, Pump's bravest fighter injects himself into the fight. It looks like he was going to try to secure the enemy team's mage, but he doesn't manage to. And while that happens, Saving Vow goes down. Man, tough. Guinevere, being the jungle, being down, really not a great spot for them to be in, because now they've put themselves in a position, Archon has, just by losing that one fight and the Lord, or not the Lord, sorry, the turtle, they set themselves 2,000 gold behind. We see Bruno picking up his first real lifesteal item. We see Ha's Claws dropping, and that lifesteal, that sustain early in these fights, is definitely going to make a big difference in his ability to keep moving. Definitely a good first item. The question is that, 600 gold roughly over the Bruno, or over the Brody, going to be enough to keep him in that fight alive? Right now we see Kaja popping his Divine Judgment, locking down Saving Vow, and he gets punished by the Bruno. Moonfrose taking a little bit more damage than she wants. She's going to have to recall. Frosh trying to keep himself together. Moonfrose definitely trying to play smart and trying to keep herself together while she was in the area, but the enemy team Terizla dives in and puts enough pressure on that Givik could invade it and punish her for not recalling when she should have. And Givik is going to get a free buff out of the red side of the house. Implosion popping by Frosh, getting absolutely great damage off on both the Terizla and the Givik Akai, but not being able to lock down either of them long enough to secure a kill. 5-0 Vanguard leads. Almost 15,000 gold to the 11,000 gold on the side of Archon. Guinevere does lock in a nice kill, and the kill is stolen by Tigreal. And it looks like that Tigreal is going to die. It looks like he's going to die with the Lapu Lapu. And Guinevere, just before, Tigreal popped his penalty zone, getting a whole lot of damage off on Moonfrose, but not being able to effectively sweep her, but does take the turtle in exchange for the loss of her, you know, life, I suppose. She got to live. She got to live. Right now, Vanguard doing a really good job of controlling the map. They've managed to take the first turret on the, it looks like the original gold side of the map. At this point, everything's a blur. We see a whole lot of pressure happening. We see Lapu Lapu trying to maintain himself. K5, an exceptionally good Lapu Lapu user, still having to put respect on Brody and counter that duo is so hard to fight off. Bruno definitely being pound for pound, probably the hardest hitting marksman, standalone marksman, even over Brody, a character in his time still. Muto taking a lot of damage. Looks like she's going to be able to survive the Jerusalem setup though, but not before the Bruno wraps the Guinevere up, Christmas present style, securing that easy kill for Vanguard. 10-2, the gap grows. Lapu Lapu setting up his son in his bravest fighter. He's trying to get some damage off. They are not making it happen. Archon fighting to keep themselves in the fight. Penalty zone. Terizla is in trouble, taking a lot of damage with Mystic Gush securing the kill on Tigreal. Tough match, man. Tough match. Vanguard is looking strong. It looks like they're going to start trying to put some work in on this turtle. They might even try to, potentially bait out the enemy team's Guinevere. I'm not sure if she's buying into it though. She's taking a look, she's trying to get vision, and she's trying to get herself in, but prematurely exposes herself to the enemy team's Akai, but does manage to get a reset. Meanwhile, we see a whole lot of pressure. Implosion pops that picked up by Tigreal, and Bruno goes down. A nice kill for Team Archon. Moonfrose being invasive, trying to put a little bit of pressure on Fish. He pops his Mystic Gush, but misses. Foop being a little bit deep. Is he going to be able to make it happen? Oh, beautiful pop by Tigreal, but it works against them. Brody drops. Guinevere does land her ultimate, getting a little bit of damage off with Tigreal, Terizla still being such a tanky hero, survives it and thrives in it. No character really survives, to the extent and thrives in those hard to fight situations like Terizla. He is slow, like I said, but also just such a strong hero. I do want to say that Frosh, on the Archon side of the house, the Tigreal is getting some really good plays. All that the Archon's guys got to do is capitalize on the presented opportunities that he is creating. He's got some great implosions. He's got some great cross-side map drags. But the damage hasn't been present enough for them to punish the multiple people that he's grabbed at a time. The First Lord going to the side of Vanguard relatively unchallenged.
Ollie mess.
Foop sees Guinevere, says, "Hey, not today. Get off my side of the map. You're not that guy, pal." Archon side of the house, looking to face the first real push coming from the side of the Vanguard. They've not had a whole lot of opportunity up to point to really see what the driving force of Vanguard is. Paired with, the stepfather, Lord himself, non-Illuminous. Let's see the driving force. K5 putting himself a little bit far out. Great position for the Jerusalem to try to push out, but instead he decides not to because of the huge character presence from the side of Archon. He knew that was an unwinnable fight. We do see a Mystic Push that's going to rip through Tigreal and secure the second tier turret as well as Brody's life. A little bit of trickle damage starts to feather the inside turrets of Archon. Givik not wasting any time on starting on the enemy team, Archon's jungle. A lot of minions putting a little bit of pressure. It doesn't seem like much, but it adds up. By letting them hit anything at all, you've already lost, 20% of the turret's life. And just like that, Saving Vol is looking around, trying to find literally anything for Aster to get a hold of. This guy knows what's up. Fish, fantastic. I do want to say he is typically, from what I've seen, one of those heroes, one of those players on the Vanguard side of the house that is typically making really big plays happen. He's so smart and decisive with the decisions that he makes that he does a really good job of being somebody who's, not a roam, but still creating options for his team to take advantage of, as is a good mid lane. We see a lot of stacking up coming from the other side of Archon, waiting to get themselves in a position where they can try to exploit a weak spot in the side of Vanguard, looking for the luminous, big old, not even the stepdad anymore. This is dad we're talking about. Maybe not the grandpa, maybe not the guy who's all advanced, strengthened with time, but the dad himself. They've started on it, bringing him down to roughly half health, and it looks like they're going to leave it uncontested as the entire Archon side of the house is up north. Trailing by about 10,000 gold. Archon has got some work to do. Right here, let's see what we can find. Suffrage. That's what we can find. Vanguard in a very strong, comfortable position, knowing that with this lustrous lord stampeding his way up north, Archon's going to really have to fight to survive this wave. Do I think this is the wave that puts Archon down? Maybe not. I think that Archons can survive this if they play well with their towers, but I do think they lose a lot of ground. And it hits, getting a devastating blow, taking out the first inner turret. We see Frosh going down with no real hesitation. Saving Ball, Moonfo taking a lot of damage, and they go down as well. Terizala knocking them down. Akai drops, but what's it worth? Guinevere trying to make a play happen, but Lapu drops, and Guinevere drops, and that is it. Vanguard taking the first victory. Man, oh man, what an explosive game from the side of Vanguard, showing off exactly why they are a top 10 team in North America right now. Woo! I'll tell you what. I will tell you what, guys. Explosions happening all over the map And you could probably hear it in my voice. These guys are drilling holes through the Archon side of the house. And that's not to say the Archon guys aren't good players, right? You're talking about a new, fresh team that has done a very good job of engaging the community, injecting themselves into the North American scene. Archon being a team that's coming from the Philippines, primarily hosted, but starting anew in the North America. They are starting to make small ripples in the water, not quite capable of making some of the giant waves that the Vanguard have made in North America again, but they're looking to make these effects happen. I'm going to see if I can turn my gain just up a touch. Hopefully that helps. Man, Vanguard showing off exactly why they are who they are. Man, tough match for Archon. We knew that coming into it that this was going to probably be in the favor of Vanguard side of the house. But now that Archon has had the ability to see who these Vanguard guys are and what's so great about them, hopefully they're going to be able to adjust according to that. They're taking that first loss into mind and they're going to say, hey, let's do it again. I want to see Archon adjust, and I want to see them sustain a healthy growth. And even if they don't take a win, can they do better? Can they take advantage? I hope so. At this point, my expectations for Archon, it comes down to expecting a little bit more unity across the map. But Zeke, what do you mean by that? I mean, Vanguard punished them, right? They punished them. Not only for picking your jungle character early, but they punished them using the unity and trust in one another. They used essentially the power of friendship and these cool guns they found to rip through Archon and slowly create enough holes and gap them out enough to effectively be able to punish them at all points of the map. And with that being said, we are diving into the second match, Archon versus Vanguard. Now, I wonder what's going to happen differently. Do we think that the Archon guys are going to start to ban out a little bit more of the heroes that we saw from the Vanguard side of house? We see the first Joy ban. I wonder how Vanguard's feeling. Are they feeling confident? Are they feeling strong? Or are they going to say, maybe some of these Archon guys are okay, and ban out some of their own selected heroes? We see a Wan ban. I'll tell you what, man. I tell you what. Both of these teams came into this first game absolutely hot. And I mean that. Hot. I'm talking about houses full of smoke because the butter's burning. Hot. Again, Frosh had so many good captures with the Tigreal. So many great sets. And we do see the Akai ban. You guys heard it first here. I called it. I said it. I knew it. That Akai was a problem. Man. But the thing is do we think that Vanguard is going to do the exact same thing? Do we think that they are going to try to adjust and ban out some of the Archon choices? No, they banned their own Terizala. I wonder what Vanguard has got plotting to get rid of the Terizala to get rid of such a strong neutral hero, I think they're going to go with an invasive team. I think we're going to see some blink heroes coming out of Vanguard. Guinevere gets a ban as well. That makes me feel like Archon might end up going with a little bit more of a zoning composition. That'll be definitely interesting. I'm really curious to see what these guys are going to pop out with. We see a Mathilda ban. That means Nolan is open, and he is right there. He is picked up instantly on the spot. No hesitation. Wow. I tell you what, with that being said, the Mathilda ban was a good ban because Mathilda paired with the Nolan is so dangerous. That mobility attachment onto the Nolan makes him such a threat. So a Mathilda was a good ban, but was it a better ban than the Nolan? We will find out. Foop locking in the Arlet. Luffy, last game's Rome. What will he pair with the side of Arlet? Arlet being a heavy blink-based character, being a very shifty, again, we see the oh man, we see a Claude come. What an awesome character to pair with the Arlet. And Kazurina is going to lock in the Bruno. This looks a little bit more like the Archon team that we're seeing. Emperor, their noble leader, has paired up. We see them showing Aurora, but is it the hero to lock in? Is that going to be enough of a response to try to stop the movement of Claude? And they lock in the Phoveus. You thought, oh my God, Phoveus, not a super huge, character to be picked, not a common pick, but a great pick for this composition so far. A great way to respond. Emperor, the team's captain, showing off exactly why he is the captain. Man, that was such a good pick. I'm proud of Archon for that. Fish locking in the Lilia, hoping to slow down the Bruno and the Nolan just enough for the Arlet to get in there, engage them, and punish them for simply existing. Man. Luffy and Givik. The Rome and the Jungle. Last game. Really great players. Did such a good job in coordinating where they wanted to go and what they wanted to do. But this is a different match. The Archon composition is not the same people from last game. Oh man, we saw the Minotaur ban. I can say I understand why, but was he the best ban? Maybe not. I think a Minzathar would be pretty scary. A roaming Minzathar, but I guess, how common is that? How common is that? It could happen. It could happen. Probably not, but it could happen. Fredrin ban, great ban, great hero to be able to shut down some of these heroes and hem them up. I think that's a good ban. But at the same time, we don't see a lot of roaming Fredrins. Oh man. Givik, such a smart player, does decide to go for the Navaria ban. I'll tell you what. And I'll tell you what. How funny would it be for the Phoveus to go mid? How funny would that be? It's not going to happen. But what if? What if? That would be... I would cry. I would probably just get off the game and go cry. Moonfroze and Frosh Last game's mid and roam. I think that's how they finished off the last game as well. They decided to go for a Boxia. A Boxia ban. Really? I mean, I suppose. I'm not really sure how the Boxia would play into like synergizing with the Arlet and Claude though. I guess the slowing effects could be annoying for them to deal with, but I feel like Fovius fixes that issue, enough. Luffy getting to pick who he wants now. Let's see what he decides to grab. Man, who do I think he would grab? Oh yeah. A Sho and Angela. Do we think he's locking it in? I think he's locking it in. Angela, a threat for sure. Pairing her up with the Arlet, with the Claude, making for absolutely fantastic heroes to engage the enemy team with, regardless of whether Claude goes for a damage or a tank build, which is very possible. He is absolutely a threat when paired with Angela. Moonfrose, looking at Lunox, looking at Xavier. Are either of these the right pick? Maybe not. Xavier definitely has a lot of different capabilities to hem up effectively the enemy team, but is he fast enough to keep out of the hands of Arlet? I guess we're gonna find out as Moonfrose locks in Xavier, Frost locks in the Rafaela. The speed boost that Rafaela will give the Nolan, though, is definitely something to fear. If they decide to hold hands throughout this match, I definitely think Vanguard is going to take some damage. Locking in the Leomard jungle with, beautiful, beautiful skin. Nothing like a bad guy on the map. A lot of really good hero selection from the side of Vanguard. They've got so many great heroes for them to pair their Angela with. So what's going to happen? Are we going to see fast, shifty, durable heroes capable of taking on the hard-hitting Nolan? One of the biggest bans in the whole game. Stacked up, Archon versus Vanguard. Game 2. That's all I got to say. Archon, blue side of the house. Can they take game 2? See Luffy trying to grab a little bit of center map vision. Meanwhile, Rafaela digging deep for some eyes. Frosh given a whole lot of vision. Don't put yourself in a position where you get crossed off. Does manage to effectively work his way around. Leomard showing face. Rafaela, checking him as well. But he does manage to grab the Little Wanderer. Going to be nice progression for Leomard. Nolan making his laps, popping his rifts, dealing his damage, doing a little dance, make a little love, getting down tonight. Fantastic. Arlet. The Arlet, man. Such a threat. But, oh man, Aster engages the fight, but doesn't manage to have enough damage coming from his fracture to secure an early kill on the Arlet. With the level gain, he's definitely a dangerous hero. Hivik and Humble God really getting into it. He pops fracture and manages to so quickly get in and out of that fight. Gets a beautiful kill on the enemy team. Leomard giving him a beautiful first set. Foop trying to get out of there. Can he? And it looks like he can. Wow. A 1-for-1 trade on that side of the house. 3-2 in favor of Archon. But the map is equal and the gold is equal, so who can sustain? Vanguard looking to get an early engagement on the turtle. Emperor present, but being punished for being present gives Leomard a really nice, quick, easy kill. Fish taking a lot of damage, having to recall. The turtle resets, looking to re-engage the fight with Fish, but Fish being so low on health, Foop hits his way in there. Leomard does manage to steal the turtle. Xavier drops Lilia, but not without Nolan going down himself. Moonfrose getting some damage off, being low enough in health herself. Gotta be careful. Civic is looking to punish you for hanging around with low health. Don't give him that opportunity. Arlot and Phoveus, best of friends down here, doing their little cool kid handshake. Phoveus over-engages and gets punished by Foop. Arlot, again, such an explosive character, one of the best 1v1 heroes to exist within the game right now. So hard for even the Phoveus to fight. 4-5, the gold is now going to go in favor by about almost coming up on 1,000 gold benefit in Vanguard side of the house. Looking to get a nice easy kill from the Little Wanderer. Angela getting a little bit of hems up, taking a little bit of damage. Leomard injecting himself, gets a really fast kill on the Xavier. Showing face a little bit. Claude taking a lot of damage and getting out of there. It looked like Nolan popped his fracture, but he just doesn't have the damage yet to secure those kills. He does an absolutely astounding amount of damage, but doesn't have the ability to wrap up the presence yet. Christmas puns. Get back to the farm. Emperor with a beautiful bush check, knew that the Lilia was there. Leomard showing face, trying to have that Vanguard presence. They managed to steal and secure the last turtle from it, but Nolan gets it this time. Pressing in really hard. Nolan drops. Oh God. And it looks like Emperor was going to go down with him, but he managed to survive by the skin of his teeth. Giving. Getting right into giving it and taking it right back, looking to steal Nolan's jungle. But Bruno takes it. You know, not quite the guy who's supposed to get the bop, but it's a whole lot better than Givig getting it. That tower is standing with one general block. Fish getting some nice pressure. The minions putting that work in on the tower, getting ready to lose that mid tower soon. Is going to really open up the jungle accessibility for the Vanguard side of the house if Archon doesn't start defending it a little bit better. Once you open up those jungle invasions, you start opening up loss of ground. We see a little interaction going up north. Leomard securing another kill on the Phoveus. Arlot being right and present with him. Vanguard starting to bury the hatchet with a 3,000 lead and another tower in the pocket. We see an Angela boosted Leomard diving in, ripping through Xavier. Doesn't even care about the tower. Walks away with a half bar of health. Oh man, Luffy being an absolute gladiator in itself. Lilia taking the tower. Claude walking around with no health at all, with not a worry in the world. We see Leomard starting to face check the turtle, you know, exploiting the 4,000 gold lead that is in the favor of Vanguard now, saying, hey, come fight us. Meet me on Turtle Scrub. That's not what I said, man. That's what Vanguard said, man. I don't put those words in my mouth. Lilia doing what she's doing, clearing minions, setting up the Archon side of house to choose between effectively defending their lane and being present for the tower fights. Right now, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 heroes and an Angela getting ready to make that all 5 heroes present for Vanguard at their local party. Phobius trying to get some damage in, but not present enough at the turtle in an easy secure for Vanguard. 5,000 gold, 2,000 gold, 3,000 gold, 4,000 gold, 5,000 gold lead for Vanguard. 4-11, map control, favoring Vanguard with not a single tower lost. Nolan facing the damage of Fish, but she gets a beautiful protective shield from the Angela. Heart guard, guarding her heart. No damage done here. No threat found. Give it. Get Humble Gods, getting his mob, you know, that's going to make it a little bit harder for Nolan. He's been lacking the ability and damage to secure his kills up to this point, making it just hard for him. Just like that, a 6,000 gold lead. They are pacing themselves at such a rate that they are going to bury, and I mean bury, Archon. Tough matches, man. Tough matches. Aster's looking for something. Across the map, Angela secures a kill. A whole lot going on. Jesus himself got to put up a prayer for this. Leomard dealing so much damage that I'm feeling bad about it. But you know what? It's okay. I'm not gonna cry too much. First minion wave shows up, starting to put pressure, and the Archon side of the house inner turret has to deal its one-time use magical wave to clear the minions off of itself. Archon fighting Aster, really good position, but it looks like they know he's there. And Arlet with an instant engagement, hemming up Aster, getting a quick, decisive kill on him, taking the Archon side of the house jungle out of the fight, is going to open up a free, unchallengeable Lord for them. And the push begins. Can Archon survive this Lord? I want to hold out the same hope that I held for them last game. I want to say yes. I want to say that they're going to be able to defend it, but, you know, they're going to take losses. Vanguard, so smart with their pushes. They're going to clear off these minions and apply pressure and say, hey, while you have to defend this side of the map, the Lord's going to push. They say, hey, we're going to hit you all at once, and you're going to choose between your base or your bottom lane. Top lane, if you're looking at it from their side of the house. Aster taking a lot of damage. Phobius dropping. Angela prepping for an engagement, not using her heart guard yet. While the Lord's getting ready to make his entrance, the Vanguard guys are doing a fantastic job at timing it out. The bottom and top lane getting together. Lord looking to steal the second inner turret. He's getting in this engagement. Leomard being extremely invasive, taking a little bit of damage Frost tries to deny it. Galilea makes sure that the third tower goes with him. The ward is going to drop. And from there, the Vanguard guys aren't really going to have the opportunity to secure the game with that. But Aster does manage to pick up a kill on Lilia. And barely makes it out. Oh, he doesn't make it out, sorry. Barely gets taken out. Phobius drops to Angela. Really strong engagement coming from Vanguard. They're looking to put the second game away. Arlet with an absolutely explosive grab. The only one left is Moonfroze. Preventing this. He couldn't prevent shit. Something's wrong with the audio. What's wrong with it? Is it too low? Coming up into the third match, Vanguard versus Archon. Archon is struggling, and I can't blame them. Vanguard, such a powerful team, such a well put together, such an organized team. They are a tough match to go up against. Archon's here for it, though. We see a couple players left the lobby, wondering if they are going to be regrouping themselves. I'm back. So up to this point, it's been definitely a tough match for Archon. They're going up against the likeness of Vanguard, who's got more experience, more achievements, more accomplishments under their belt. Really good team. Again, a top 10 team in North America. It's tough, man. They are a intimidating group to go against, but it looks like Frost has got to see his way out. So I think that might be the end of the scrim. 2-0, Vanguard. Tough. Tough. Oh, Archon, Kazarina showing up. But on the Vanguard side? What? Crazy. Looks like they're trying to sort things out here. It looks like they're trying to figure out if they're going to do another game. I'm hoping they do. Because I think that, if nothing else, this is a great opportunity for Archon to feel under pressure and feel what a real match is like. I know both of these teams have given up their ability to attend MCLs tonight because of this, but at the same time, it's such a great opportunity for them not to only meet each other, but to get that real game sense of feel. Moonfro's showing up. It looks like they might try to make another game happen. K5 present. Humbergod present. Fish present. 5 versus 5. But we got some people leaving the lot. Man, confusion in the house. There is confusion in the house. Archon does manage to get a team together. They are ready to show up and show out. With Frosh being gone now, or not Frosh, I thought Frosh had to go. Oh, maybe he wasn't, maybe he isn't done. I misread. Hey, Valente, what's up? Saving Val in the house. Whoop, whoop, shout out. Hey, how does my voice sound? How's the audio coming through? 4 games. That's what they said. nice and hard on my vocals. It's okay. Okay, so hopefully the audio is fixed. I know somebody said that I know somebody was saying that the audio was coming in a little bit finicky. I know somebody was saying that the audio wasn't great. Somebody else said that something was wrong with it. But you know what? We making this happen. Disrespectfully. Hey, Adrian, what's up, my boy? Okay. So, I'm so ready, so stoked for this third matchup. Again, Archon has been they've been struggling, but the issue is that Archon's not been struggling because they're doing a whole lot inherently wrong, right? They're losing micro decisions. They're missing little different engagements. Again, you know, in that first game we saw Frosh so effectively grabbing, popping his implosion, pushing the enemy team in groups into the tower and setting Archon up in a position to be successful in those team fights. But he was doing it in the end, and the team they just weren't there to finish it. They were getting off a whole lot of damage, but losing out in the small micro decisions that they were making, whether it was timing or hero placement. Archon's been doing fantastic, but not good enough. Archon versus Vanguard, Game 3. I am getting off the camera. Let's see what we get. Joy ban, Akai ban, both of these expected bans based off of the last game. I do feel like Archon did better. Hey, what's up, JT? JT official in the house. Glad to have you guys here. We knew that the Akai was going to come because Archon saw the face of Akai one time, and that big fat panda can go home. He was roughing them up too much. I can't blame them for not wanting him here. We do see a Guinevere ban coming from Vanguard this time. Maybe it's a respect pick to keep Humble God humble, you know? Do I think we're going to see a Nolan ban, though, again? I think Vanguard, based off of the last performance, again, nothing against the Archon's jungle, he just wasn't doing enough damage and wasn't farming fast enough to effectively deal the damage that he wanted to do to secure the kills. It was always almost enough damage, but he just wasn't managing to lock in. So I wonder if they're going to let the Nolan pick slip again. And if they do, does Aster pick it up? They do not. Archon side deciding to ban off the Nolan. They said, enough is enough. Get him out of here. Let's play heroes that we're a little bit more comfortable with. Guinevere and Nolan off of the map is going to force Aster to pick a hero that we've not seen him represent yet. So this is going to be another learning experience for Vanguard, seeing what the likes of Aster, mythical immortal jungle on the side of Archon, has got to offer. Diggy popped up. We can expect some CC. We can expect a stun heavy set coming. Pause. From the Vanguard side of house. JT says, what's up, North America from the Philippines? Shout out my boy. Glad that you're here. Arlot ban comes up. I can't say I blame them on that either. And Foop goes with Terizla again. Back at it with the white vans. Emperor and Kazarina getting the first two picks. Are they going to subside them for a sweet little pick for Aster? The question is that the smart move? Emperor looking at lock-in the M5. Yu Zhong. He's showcasing him, but is he just showcasing the skin? Or is he about to showcase the Black Dragon? I hope he locks him in. It looks like he's going to lock him in. Beautiful. So the response that Archon had to Vanguard's anti-Diggy pick was, we're going to show up with stuns ourselves. They said, you want stuns? We're going to fight him with stuns. They pop up the Kaja. They pop up the Valentina. A really good pick. Again, I love the Valentina pick. But I want to see them work it. Man, I think Frosh is going to end up switching with Kazarina because we don't know Frosh as a marksman. I know that we've seen Kazarina use a really strong Bruno. So I definitely think we're going to see a little swap out of them. Moonfrose getting their next ban. It's tough, man. It's so tough because at this point, Archon's got to be feeling the pressure. They have to be saying, man, what can I do to take this back? At this point, they have to start banning out jungles. They have to start banning off more jungle heroes because Givik has been just so effective in accomplishing his own personal goals that he's been shutting out the growth of Aster. They do go with the Fredrin ban. A great ban, both for the flexibility between EXP and the jungle. And the Vanguard side of house is going to show up with a Faramis ban. I'm not really sure if the Faramis ban is going to be the best ban for them. It's a good ban, but I don't know that based off of the team composition that we've been seeing, if we would really expect a Faramis coming from Moonfrose. Aster definitely should be looking at getting another jungle ban in just to try to strip away any extra give that Givik might have. But instead they decide to ban off the Wanwan. Strong hero, but I'm not sure that Wanwan is going to be a character that really sets the pace that they think that he would set. Wanwan, always a good ban in my personal opinion, but given the circumstances, is it the best? Yu Zhong's not a pushover, and neither is Minotaur. Bruno being, again, one of the strongest, hardest hitting MMs, one-on-one. I don't expect a Wanwan to really be able to stabilize himself enough to effectively chew through Bruno. I know if I were a 1-1 user, I probably wouldn't want that matchup, at least early game. So I'm not sure 1-1 was the best pick. But from what we know about Archon, they're not dumb. They know what they're doing. The question is I gotta guess it. So what are they doing? We see the Brody pop for him alone, and Givik showing a Hanzo. They're showing Julian, they're showing Fanny. They seem to be a bit indecisive, and I can understand the confusion. The slowing effects coming from the Lilia on Moonfrose, as well as the burst damage coming from the Bruno, and the stuns coming from the Yu Zhong and the and the Minotaur. They say Lancelot's going to be the pick. They decide to go with Lancelot, and Aster decides to rep Granger. Starfall Legend skin. Beautiful skin. Granger's tough, man. Granger's such a good hero. I've been playing him a lot recently myself, and he's a whole lot of fun, but he's so situational. A good Granger can definitely be a hard character to fight. Lucky for the other teams, I am not a good Granger. Not yet, at least. Vanguard versus Archon, Game 3. The landed on. What a dangerous place to be. Built like downtown Chicago. Miami, Florida, on a Saturday night. Dangerous. We see a typical movements coming from the side of Archon as well as Vanguard. We see both teams looking to get a little bit of vision. Luffy, you know, he's checking bushes. He's trying to see, you know, well, where is Granger at? But Granger's over here. He doesn't know that. Instead, Frost is going to show his face and say, hey, look at me. I'm doing a little dance. I wiggle my knees. Granger getting a really nice cleanup on the Litha Wanderer. Going to give him a little bit of an advantage for the early game progression. Down south, we see Terizla and Yuzong, two very different characters, you know, showing a little bit of respect to each other. You know, again, Terizla is such a good hero head-on, definitely has the advantage head-on, but the mobility of the Yuzong is definitely going to make him a really big threat with all that he's capable of long-term. Lancelot getting a whole lot of damage off, but not being able to secure anything for sure, except for the crab. He's looking to start invading the Archon side of the house and taking some easy creeps. Meanwhile, we see Frost trying to keep a little protective barrier while Archon does the, or Aster does the same for Archon. But they, I don't know who got that. Kaja showing a little bit of skill alongside of the Brody. Oh, across the map, off screen, we see Yuzong goes down to the Terizla with the support of Fish. I don't see why that wouldn't have happened. Again, Fish, such a good mid lane hero, and Foob's Terizla is so strong, man. He's such a good. But Archon effectively gets in. Terizla pops up the penalty zone. Mugathar trying to hem things up, but goes down to the Terizla, while Vanguard manages to secure the first turtle. And Givik begins his games. Into the enemy team's jungle he goes. Givik, such a strong jungle. Very decisive in his actions, very well mentally put together. And I guess I would be too if I had somebody like Luffy roaming around, you know, never having to worry about what people are doing. Lilia goes down to him. Man, way to really set in what I'm saying. Give it so put together. Fish being really present, hemming him up. Granger goes down. Minoan Fury pops, but not soon enough to save the Granger. We see Kaja is trying to play a little bit in secret, but Frosh, no fool to the game himself, not new to this, knows exactly where he's at. Frosh still taking a little bit more damage than he wants to. Vanguard putting a whole lot of pressure on this top lane. Gonna try to send Frosh home. Bruno not in a position where he wants to be left alone though. That 3v1 will slow him down. Very invasive. Oh, and a beautiful flush with a stolen Minoan Fury from the Valentina, putting the Bruno in his grave. We see Terizla, penalty zone pops, a lot of damage, but nothing that Lilia cannot sustain. Fish present on the map, no denying it. Valentina, debatably the best mid lane in the game. Emperor finding himself in a bit of a bind. Divine Judgment coming out of nowhere and securing an easy kill for Lancelot. They are looking at starting the second turtle fight, 7-0 with a 3,500 gold lead. Easy, secure for Lancelot. So at this point, we got to look at what Archon can be doing to effectively fight back against the Vanguard guys. They have been so good within the past couple of games at hemming them up. Astrogod trying not to drop, but getting put down, put in his place by Valentina. Lilio on the case, putting up a whole lot of pressure, but not able to secure a kill with the Blink blessing saving Fizz. At this point, again, we got to look at what they can do differently. Moonfro's barely getting out of there against the Lancelot, who decided, you know, your team's jungle's creeps are more important to me than you are. 9-0, 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold lead on the side of Vanguard. What can they do to stop this? What can they do to weather the storm? And a lot of that, honestly, is going to come from playing again together more. You know, they do a really good job at being present, but the presence is it's almost like it's at the wrong time. You know, Minotaur, he gets his pop-up, penalty zone, pops from the Terizla, and this is what I'm talking about with presence. They managed to get there, but they weren't where they wanted to be enough that they were able to punish and secure. They were all stacked in one spot and still allowed a getaway escape, you know, a getaway path for Terizla, and he took advantage of it, and he got out of there, and just like that, he's free roaming again. Granger fighting to get his own jungle creeps, man. That's tough. We see the third turtle engagement. At this point, we see a lot of pressure coming from the side of Vanguard, as they're not really worried about a push coming from the side of Archon, and I'm glad that they didn't. Archon definitely feeling the pressure at this point. Tough, man. It's tough. It's so tough. Oh, Divine Judgment, hemming up Emperor, taking a whole lot of damage. Oh, man! Brody securing the kill on Yuzong. Such a big initiator down off of the side of Archon. Definitely going to inhibit their ability to effectively start and sustain these team fights. Bosch taking a little bit more damage than he's wanting to, having to pop his heals. They just aren't in a position where they can win an engagement from 8,000 gold behind. Moonfro's pops the magic shoes, trying to get out of there. Penalty zone happening under the favor. Man, Black Dragon is up. Hand out by the looks of it. He does not want to be there. Lancelot dealing a whole lot of damage. Moonfro barely getting out alive. Granger popping a burst, getting hemmed up by the Divine Judgment and set down with no respect by the Brody. Vanguard extremely present, exploiting the gold difference. This is not the Archon that we're used to seeing. Again, not because they're playing inferior to their own capabilities, but the experience of Vanguard shows. They trust each other so much, and their communication is so good that no matter what this Givik guy does, Luffy knows. Luffy knows, and Luffy is doing such a good job in effectively engaging these team fights that he's preventing Aster from managing to grow. Not having these buffs hurt. They start the first dance with Dad, the daddy-daughter dance. Givik putting heavy pressure while we see his team becoming present. Granger's looking to get in on the fight, but not without the enemy team, Vanguard, you know, showing up, showing face, and scaring him off. We see Vanguard getting ready to prep the field, prepping the minions to get some nice invasions going. We see the stepfather, step lord, if you would, coming up on the mid side of the map, bottom lane, while they're all present, stacking up on the top, as per normal, in accordance with the last game, showing up, getting ready to put some pressure, and hoping that they're going to get enough pressure off. No one Fury pops, so Fox can try to get out of there, but goes down to the Brody. And with that said, they've got pressure on the middle, they've got pressure on the top. Lancelot injecting himself in there, doing a lot of damage, knocking down the U-Zone, taking out the turret, knocking down the Valentina. The Archon guys are trying to stay in the fight, but Vanguard is going to take it to him. Third game, going to Vanguard. Man, Vanguard showed up ready to fight today. I know Exio's sitting somewhere smiling. The Archon guys, they've been struggling. And again, it's all in those micro, I almost said microtransactions. It's all in those micro interactions. They're losing small fights. They're getting really good engagements from the Vanguard guys and responding to them well, but the issue is the timing. They're just being a little bit too early or just missing the cue. And that's experience. That's what that is. That's experience. Vanguard guys have been together for a while. People know that. They didn't build their reputation from being guys who couldn't land what they wanted to land. It just is what it is. Vanguard's no joke. And they came to show Archon that tonight. I want to say that Archon is still in this. Archon can still take them, but the thing is, they have to be on the ball. They've got to cover down with each other. If the jungle is going somewhere at this point, there's got to be an overlay between the mid lane and the roam. If he's going up north towards the EXP lane, he's got to have that overlay, because it's those interactions right in the middle of where his teammates are at that the Vanguard guys are pinching in with a group of people and punishing him for being just out of reach. I definitely think that Archon guys are still in it, but at this point, it's so hard for them to not, it's so hard to assume that the Vanguard guys aren't at least a little bit in their head. And I know that's where I would want to be if I were Vanguard. In the enemy's head is the best place to be. And it's tough, dude. It's so tough, the recovery point for Archon at this point. For them to just not lay down, it's tough. I'm glad they haven't. I'm glad they're still showing up. I'm glad that they're still ready for this fourth fight. The final fight, 3-0 in the favor of Archon. All games relatively unchallenged with 10,000 gold differences in each one. Can Archon be more present with each other this game? I'm praying for it. Let's see. Faj acknowledging the fantastic gameplay coming from the House of Vanguard. Side of Vanguard. House of Vanguard sounds cool, though. I'm not going to lie. That should be their new name. Sponsor me. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, though. They've been really explosive games. Even though Archon has been getting gapped, they've had so many really good interactions still, to the point where it's like, I feel like they're gonna get it, but then again, they just little grease monkeys slipping out of their fingers, at the last second stuff. All right, let's get my face off of here and let's get right into this matchup. I clicked it twice and it didn't click. Let's see. What do we think the bans will be? I think we're going to get another Nolan ban. I think we're going to get another Akai ban, and there he is. I think Archon is intimidated, man. I would be surprised if we don't see pretty much exclusively heroes that they play at this point. It's got to be, you know, if nothing else, so much respect for the Vanguard guys. Luffy showing up, Fish showing up, Givig showing up, Foop putting it down, Alone at Prom not being alone at all. They play so well together. It's tough. I keep saying it's tough because you guys don't understand what it's like to fight such a good team that it's scary to step anywhere on the map. And that's got to be how Archon's feeling at this point. Like there is nowhere safe. It does look like they're gonna ban out the Lilia. They got sick of the magic boots. They got sick of the healing. They said, you know, fuck you and fuck you too. Awful. Navaria ban coming from Vanguard. Joy ban coming from Archon. I tell you what. I'll tell you what. The Kaj it goes. Yep. You know, right where I was saying, you know, that the Archon guys got to be in a position where they're like, okay, how many characters do we have to strip away for us to be able to step up against them? So many heroes that the Vanguard guys are good with. Okay, Astrogod locking in a Yuzong. Is he going to switch off of that? Yeah. But it's a good pick, nice and early, that's not going to leave him super countered. Can't say I blame him for that. Luffy not being your typical pick. Givik popping up with the Fredrin, a really great flex hero early in the showroom. Luffy hopefully doesn't give off too much information in regards to the team. Can't say I would blame him for giving it up. Yep, and he does give it up to Alone at Prom, so that way he can get a little bit more protection in his pick later on. Definitely a great move not showing the jungle and the roam at the same time, because that is definitely a recipe for disaster. Frosh locking in a Grok. How do we feel about that? It's a great hero if Alduus was going to be playing. Tell you what, I don't think I've seen that skin before. It's a pretty cool skin. Moonfroze popping up with the Claude. I definitely don't see that hero staying in spot either. Not sure why Archon has decided to take and do these early swaps, you know, why they're locking in heroes for somebody else, you know. You could just up somebody. Or they've got something secret, some Chinese secret that they're hiding. And if they are, I want to see it. I want to see Archon step to Vanguard and say, hey, look me in the eyes when you're talking to me. What? Fish locking in a Cho? What is that? Luffy's ban up to bat. Who's he gonna ban? I'd ban me. That's who I'd ban. Oh man, you don't want to go up against me in the game, you know. Not me playing the game. I'm sure I'm gonna have a character sometime within the next year, you know, pray for me. We see the Valentina ban, great ban. I think that I think we might see a Terizla ban. I don't think Terizla is, the god among men, but I they gotta know that Fredrin is on the jungle. They might not. They might go with a jungle ban. Okay, we do see the Terizla ban. I called it. The man, the myth, the legend, Big Zeke, repping it out. Knowledge of the forefathers. I just gotta know that it's annoying. You just gotta know that the Terizla has just been causing so much havoc for Archon that they gotta ban him out. We see the Kadita ban. That's an interesting ban. But we do see the Arlet popped as well. Another EXP ban. Again, Foop has just been so destructive in his capabilities. He's going to have to show a hero that he's not played yet. He popped Terizla in the first one, popped Arlet in the second, and then went back and had seconds with Terizla at dinner, third game. Who's he going to pick this game? Vanguard locks in Xavier. So we're definitely gonna see Luffy and Fish swap, right? We know that. So the Rome, I'm confused a little bit by the Rome Cho, honestly, because I don't see a whole lot of pick-off hero capability. We do see a little bit, I guess, with the Benedetta, but maybe the Cho's gonna damage build, and yep, there's the swap that I was talking about. And we do see we might see Kazarina jungle. We might see Astergod pop off with the EXP lane. This is a whole different game. So Moonfroze is gonna marksman? Aster's gonna EXP. Kazarina's gonna jungle. And Frosh on Rome. Fourth game of the night, final matchup, Archon versus Vanguard, game 4. What can we expect at this point? I'm hoping to taste something different. I'm hoping to see a different game played. I know that Archon has got to be fiending for something right now, man. We see Luffy looking to be a little invasive Emperor, trying to keep him, keep him off. Mid lane Angela's trying to check people. Frosh giving good vision of the Cho, helping Emperor not overstep. See Benedetta taking a little bit too much damage from the Yuzong to be comfortable for sure, but not quite out of it yet. Fredrin looking to press in. Definitely not a safe push against the Grok, but is going to be close enough to have the Little Wanderer swiped by Kazarina's Lancelot, but Benedetta does get a nice kill on the Yuzong. It's not going to be enough for them to effectively start dealing damage and taking from the Golden Tower, but it is going to be enough for her to recall safely. Grok keeping a lot of vision on Luffy, but on the Vanguard side, maybe not a great hero to really be pressing around with. Cho gets a lot of really good damage. Across the top side of the map, we see Kazarina tried to take it home against the Beatrix, but wasn't able to do it. But it looks like they're going to go for the invade, and Claude manages to secure the kill against them, and he needs to get out of there fast. Cho will absolutely deal some damage and secure the kill. Good job getting out of there. Beautiful pick off by Archon. A little bit sloppy on top of the tower, but the sandwich was eaten regardless. Benedetta, really high cut. Only can afford it because Givik is inside of the enemy team. Archon side of the house jungle. Emperor taking a little bit more damage than he wants to. Oh no, bad spot for Kazarina. But protection coming from Angela. Benedetta really deep. Approachment coming from Aster. Hemmed up is the enemy team's deep runners, but Frost getting punished. Kazarina fighting for her life out of there, shut down by the Xavier. Blast from the past. Benedetta back to work. Gonna be able to secure the minion wave and hopefully get at least a hit or two off of the tower. Oh, they got 3, making me look bad. Back at it. Fish, gotta go home soon, man. No mana. Just trying to get past this minion wave. Fredrin showing face. And, you know, again, I said it before, the Vanguard guys are so good at communicating with each other. No doubt Fredrin showing face right now, working on this Lith Wanderer, not only to get the Lith Wanderer, but to give Fish the opportunity to go home. Frosh digging a little bit deep, not really having anywhere to go with it. Moonfroze and Angela just enough behind that if he gets into a fight right now, he's not going to have the support that he wants. Beatrix and Joe, you know, looking at setting him up, and they're going to kick him in with the Jikundo. Moonfroze popping off with his ultimate, but not able to lock anything down. Joe looking at popping up the damage against Angela, but not managing to secure anything outside of Frosh. Oh no! Bad death for Claude. And it looks like Angela might go down as well, and she does. 2 quick, easy kills for Vanguard. So quick and easy. In fact, it's like pouring river water down your socks. It's so easy. Go down to your local riverbed. Take your socks off. Dip it in the water. Fish it around a little bit. And what do you got? A weird day. We see a turtle interaction going down. We see Frost trying to get in there, you know, trying to protect the Lancelot. He misses his opportunity to do it. Gets a knock-up, but again, nobody to go home with. Frost being a little too invasive this game, not really putting himself in a position to be effectively utilized by his teammates. It looks like he's trying to bring Angela home. Luffy. Luffy showing face, keeping eyes on Frost, trying to make sure that, you know, he's not effectively able to pursue the Vanguard guys. Vanguard right now leading by 4,000 gold, definitely having the upper hand in their ability to fight. But with that being said, the map is still equal. Neither team has given up any ground. But I know Vanguard has got to be looking for the opportunity to start a team fight right before the turret push, and they're hoping to definitely lock in some ground. Benedetta knocking down Yuzong again, but without the minion wave, nowhere to work. Kazarina looking a little hungry against Fish, looking for a midnight snack, but unbeknownst to her, is the Vanguard team is present and proud. Shooting in the dark, trying to protect themselves and cover their ground. But Fish finding himself in a little bit of a bind, taking a bit of damage, and does manage to go down to Kazarina. Lancelot sweeping her off her feet. Benedetta in the house, looking to stay safe. Grok trying to sweep him in, but the blinks of Benedetta are too fast and too shifty. Angela a little bit deep with Claude. I'm wondering, is the Vanguard guys going to effectively be able to knock him down? The answer in this case looks like no. Cho trying to show face, but losing his opportunity to effectively grab him without separating himself so much from the turtle, he cancels himself out. But knowing that, he kept himself around and now is able to effectively zone out the enemy team, hoping to grab himself an easy turtle. Kazarina got in, but not fast enough. Givik grabs the turtle. A lot of heavy pressure coming from Luffy, manages to shoot in and secure a kill with the team on Moonfrose, but not without dropping himself. Frost being present, trying to get some damage off on Givik, but Fedrin, such a strong hero, so tanky, so durable, such a beautiful, well-made hero. Definitely a threat, regardless of the composition. Beatrix goes down. Lancelot shoots in, boosted by the Angela. They're looking to hem up the side of Vanguard, getting a lot of really good damage off, trying to send Foop home. Foop getting far back enough that he's going to be able to regroup, get some health, re-engage. Fish in a really bad spot, just barely getting away. Archon, super good invasion, super good flush on the tower. Archon looking to be a little invasive, putting Alone at Prom in a really bad spot. They get a whole lot of damage and cut through him like butter. 6 to 11, 25,000 gold to 27,000 gold. Archon is managing to make a comeback, only being 2,000 gold behind. Still in a deficit and lacking the map control. But actually, I spoke too soon. Archon actually has map control, having a 1 tower lead. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. They don't have a lead. It's still equal. But Frosh getting hemmed up a little bit, taking a bit of damage, probably going to have to recall and set himself straight before they start looking at trying to battle for Lord. Oh man, Emperor taking a whole lot of damage. Lucky for him, he's an Angela, and it really doesn't matter. Vanguard setting up for the team fight. Kazarina being present, but maybe a little too early. Engagement from the Black Dragon. Gonna shoot in. Gonna get a beautiful setup. Trying to get the stun up. Benedetta secures the kill on Glock. The Lord resets. Benedetta goes down. Kazarina present. Trying to get a kill on Luffy. Digging a little bit of deep. Has to send it back home. And it looks like Claude is going to finish up. Beautiful engagement, beautiful set and kill on the side of Archon. Kazarina looking a little bit low on health. Definitely doesn't want to play that game with the Beatrix. She will make it hurt. Fredrin still on the field with his retribution, looking to engage. He tries to steal it, but not before Kazarina makes it happen. First Lord in the favor of Archon. Wow. 32,000 gold for the first time in the 4-game series. We see at the 11-minute mark, not only is Archon not buried, but they are in the lead. Archon losing Moonfrose to the Benedetta. Kazarina being a little bit deep, trying to secure a kill on the Alone at Prom, not making it happen. Kazarina in a really bad spot right now. Dug deep. Oh my god, Kazarina is fighting for her life, but with nowhere to run. Goes down to Cho. Playing way too deep for not having a Lord present. Vanguard's going to get off a whole lot of free damage and get to chew through the Lord by the looks of it before he even has the opportunity to press into him. I'm not sure that the side of Archon is going to get any towers from that Lord. Yuzong chewed through by the 4-man, and Emperor goes down to it. Benedetta starting on the crab. Frosh looking to clear lanes. Claude looking to clear lanes, prevent this failure at a push to, trying to prevent it from turning into a push from the enemy team. Tough, dude. Tough. Kazarina, Frosh, not in a great position to be aggressive. They manage to protect each other just enough that they want to get in and try to secure their own buffs a little bit more. Givik not giving up an inch, trying to be present, but it does look like Lancelot manages to secure his own buff. Yuzong being super present in his Black Dragon form, trying to hit the Petrify on a loaded boosted by the Angela. Hard guard is popped. Oh man, Beatrix manages to kill the Yuzong just in time, but it looks like Luffy's gonna drop with it as well. But he doesn't. He popped up the conceal and got away with the skin of his teeth. They've not given up hope yet, for Grok is not being able to get down there fast enough. Man, Fish shooting around with no health, trying to zone out the Archon inside his house. Beautiful gameplay coming from Vanguard. Foop showing up just barely outside of the range for Grok's return home. Foop back to clear lanes, doing what Benedetta does. Causing up trouble. Givik backed by Alone. Never alone. Stealing the buffs. Looking to press into this second Lord fight. Big Daddy on the field. Givik starting engagement. Potentially looking to bait the enemy team out. Back to their 3,000 gold lead. Definitely at the advantage. But if Archon can manage to play it right, as they did this last time, they can definitely make something happen. Givik getting explosive damage, getting the first kill on Emperor. No hard guard can save them now. Claude pressed out by Cho. Not a whole lot of places for him to go. Kazarina trying to get away from the enemy team, getting hemmed up by the Fredrin. Oh man! Black Dragon tried to get in there and save them, but just wasn't fast enough. Givik getting out of there just in the nick of time. Yuzong trying to press through Fish, and he manages to do it in a great position to punish Givik for diving back into the fight. But 3v1, can Yuzong do it? Hard guard, back up, putting him in the fight. No way! Pressed out is... pressed out is Vanguard, man. Denied the Yuzong kill. Beautiful save coming from Angela. Man. While all seemed lost, Heartguard with the save. With that said, neither team managed to successfully secure the second Lord. Grok setting up his wall, forcing the Lord to have to reset. Luffy trying to give his team a little bit of vision. Only Frosh not giving up an inch, saying, hey, you're here and I'm right here with you. But with that said, Vanguard does get a couple minions down range, and it does look like they're going to be able to secure the the inner turret. So, having given up your inner turret, Claude is at the bottom of the map. Yuzong on the same lane, not in a great position for them to be engaging this team fight right now. Kazarina, hoping that he's going to be able to get in and effectively steal it. He's a little bit deep. It looks like here they go for the reset, and they do get the reset. Angela goes down. Kazarina hoping to not go down with him. Grok trying to be present as much as he can, but he's hemmed up in a bad position. Cho Jeet Kune Do shuts him down. Black Dragon is popped, secures a kill on Benedetta. Frosh trying to get a little bit of damage on Luffy, trying to get him out of the equation, but is he going to be able to do it? Not quite. Back home he goes. Same with Cho. A whole lot of damage happening right now to the Lord. It looks like the Big Daddy Lord, boosted by time, Granddaddy coming out in favor of Vanguard. So, we finally see Moonfrose picking up a little bit more penetration. Picking up a little bit of penetration so she can try to fight through the brick wall that is Fredrin and is Cho. They're manhandling them this whole game with all those defensive attributes. What can the extra penetration do? Hopefully, exactly what they want. In a bad bind, Kazarina finding himself 3v1. Jikundo, real quick kill. Easy for Vanguard. Bad position, being stunned, hemmed up, heavy by the Fredrin and Cho combo, securing another kill, but on the roam this time. So not having your roam, not having your jungle, pressure on the middle lane while Lord is showing up to house. Bad way for you to start this fight. Beatrix feathering them off of the Lord, allowing him to get in there. Black Dragon pops, trying to get a little bit of damage, trying to get a nice knock-up on, and he does, but Lord is present. He is pressing into their tower. They're trying to do a little bit of damage and trying to keep them off, but the Black Dragon finally goes down, and with that being said, it looks like the Vanguard guys secure the fourth match, 4-0 against Archon. Tough, tough, tough. But you know what? I sat through it. You guys sat through it. Beautiful games coming from both sides of the house. The fourth game, exceptionally well played by Archon. Absolutely different pace of game than it was in every other game, where they trailed at the 10-15 minute mark by almost 10,000 gold every single game. We saw that position where Archon was like, we're right there with you. We're right there with you. But sadly, Archon loses out. Vanguard pops off, comes up on top, crown on head, looking like kings. Vanguard. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys for being present today. Just know I appreciate you, but not too much.